Hello, my name's Ben.
And my name's Josh.
Welcome back to FPL Graduates. Welcome back to another video. And just like that, match day one has been completed. Although we are recording this just as match day one is finishing up, Portugal just about to play. We're going to be going into a limitless draft for match day two. Let's get into it and show sort of some of our recommended players for this match day.
Okay, then, so yeah, we're going to get cracking into a limitless draft at the moment. I know that I'm going to be using my limitless chip this match day for match day two. I think Ben's going to be wild carding. Our team reveals will be out tomorrow, so make sure you stick around and subscribe for those so you can see how we'll be lining up going into match day two. Obviously, there's like no turnaround between the match day one and match day two. So obviously we haven't seen Portugal play yet. So we'll touch on Cancelo and Bruno first. Obviously we're not too sure how they're going to play against Czech Republic, but on paper Portugal do have quite an easy group. Obviously Turkey did beat Georgia 3-1 on the final day, which was a fantastic game, and I think both teams are quite decent and probably maybe not as easy as people are expecting them to be on paper. What's your thoughts on that, Ben, in terms of that group in general that we've seen so far? Were you impressed by Turkey and Georgia?
I was impressed by Georgia, but I also think the quality that Portugal have are way too good for Turkey and Georgia. Both teams conceded over 1.5 XG in the game. They both got pretty leaky defenses. They're going to be decent going forward, so maybe wouldn't expect a clean sheet out of the other two games that Portugal have. But there's going to be goals in there for the Portuguese guys. So going with sort of maybe even a double up and attack of Ronaldo and Bruno could be a decent call here.
Yeah, and then we'll go into the goalkeepers now. So, as you can see, we've got Lavakovic starting as our keeper. He's the Croatian goalkeeper playing on the 19th, which is ideal. Obviously, you don't want two goalkeepers playing on the same date, so you can sub them in as per the rules in this mode of fantasy football. Obviously, Croatia do face Albania, which is a really nice fixture. I think they've got the highest chance of clean sheet out of everyone in this match day. So, for me, given off that basis, I'll be probably looking to double up on that defence on my limitless. And we then have Casteels as well, which could be arguable that he might not be a needed asset in this team. You could maybe look elsewhere. Obviously, Belgium did lose to Slovakia in match day one, and Romania looked incredible on match day one. Obviously, 3-0 win against Ukraine. What's your thoughts on that goalkeeper situation, Ben? Would you go for Casteels or would you sort of look elsewhere?
I mean, I think you can look elsewhere, but I don't think it's a bad option to go for. Like Belgium played well, like in that game against Slovakia. There wasn't too much they did wrong. It's just a final end product.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time that they were really threatened was from that set piece and from that goal. So defensively, I think they're going to be pretty decent going forward. So I wouldn't worry too much about them not keeping that clean sheet. That happens in tournament football, and it's pretty unpredictable, especially in such a short sort of span of time. So I think the Belgian defence is going to be a decent one to go for, especially now the last two games they have something to play for, guaranteed in that last game of the group.
Yeah, they definitely need to get some points on the board for sure. And then finally, the final player on the bench is Theo Hernandez. He plays on the 21st, and obviously France played last night as we were recording this against Austria. I thought Theo Hernandez was probably one of the best players for France. He looked quite dangerous going forwards. Didn't pick up too many ball recoveries compared to someone like maybe like Koundé, who I know finished on 8 points, I do believe. So the ball recovery is maybe not as high, but I do feel like the attacking threat could be there. Obviously, they are playing the Netherlands in this game week, so not the easiest game in terms of clean sheet potential. But when you look through the 21st, I think the fixtures all on there are just not very easy fixtures to choose from. So it's one of those ones where a lot of managers probably would have Mbappe if he's fit, but obviously at the time of recording, we don't really know if he's going to be available for the Netherlands. Ben, do you want to touch on Mbappe and maybe Theo Hernandez as well?
Yeah, I mean, Mbappe is likely not going to be available for the Netherlands game. I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed out there now that he's definitely out. Could be back for the final group game. Although if France don't have anything to play for in that final group game, then he could be rested again. Teo Hernandez looks fantastic though. He's really attacking, and I think even against a high quality side, it's going to provide tremendous upside. So I really do like him as a potential option there. So moving on into the starting defence, we'll start off with Guardiola. Like Josh said, the expected clean sheet odds there for Croatia are really high. and Gavardio took up some really decent positions. Despite losing 3-0 against Spain, he was very attacking. He played high up the pitch, and I think he could do really well against Albania. We saw DeMarco look very attacking down that exact side that Gavardio was going to be attacking. So we can expect some potential clean sheet and attacking returns there. Trent in there as well. Of course, a lot of players and managers looking maybe at Trent as a little bit of a risk from that Serbia game. I thought he had decent moments, and I do think he adds a completely different dimension to that England attack. And Denmark game is it's not an easy fixture, so we can expect England to sort of play this one maybe a little bit better than they did against Serbia. And then finishing up, we've got Jonathan Tah. I mean, this could be any German defender here at the moment. We picked him for the aerial threat. Hungary, again, I think the clean sheet odds are sort of fairly high for Germany. It's just hovering around the 50% mark, which is really, really good. So you could make a case of doubling up in the defence, but of course, their attacking odds and their potential goals are so good that you can't ignore that either.
Okay then, so moving on into the midfield. So we've got obviously Bruno Fernandes on the bench, as we mentioned. We haven't seen him play yet, but we do know that he does start for Portugal tonight, which is a massive plus, as does Cancelo. In terms of the actual starting midfield, we've got Luka Modric up first. In that game against Spain, obviously it's a difficult fixture to sort of judge him on. Obviously a lot different to the Albania game. It'll be interesting to see. I think one of the main problems with Modric is that he will get subbed off early, so just bear that into consideration. I'll talk to Ben in a moment about potentially other Croatian assets that we could potentially look at as well. Elsewhere, we've obviously got Jude Bellingham, the goal scorer for England. I think, compared to Foden and Saka in that game, he was just light years ahead of them in terms of how he played and how he performed. So I think going forwards right now, he is by far the best England midfielder asset to choose from, and I don't expect that to change going ahead into that Denmark fixture. Elsewhere in the midfield, we've got Musiala and Wirtz, and I think from open play, these two guys are by far the best picks from Germany. Both of them were electric. Obviously, did get subbed off early, but I think that is definitely down to the score line of them being ahead so much, and they can just allow them to be rested for the second half. What's your thoughts on that midfield, Ben? Are you keen on Modric, or are there other Croatian midfielders that you're more keen on?
I'm not too keen on him as an asset for this Limitless, because the minutes risks is quite high here. I think Lovro Maja, the 6.5 million midfielder, is potentially as good, if not a better option. He plays off the right, plays sort of wing, and sort of based on the pricing and the way that they've put a lot of wingers up top in this game, I'm surprised that he wasn't one on this game, which is good. But yeah, there's definitely other options. You could potentially look at sort of Belgium as well, one of those midfielders as an option, because they produced so many chances in that opening game. I can't see him sort of not doing that again. They're going to keep producing those chances. They've got top quality playmakers like De Bruyne. You've got Trossard, who missed a few chances as well as Lukaku. So yeah, I'd be tempted potentially by, if you're looking at alternative, Maja from Croatia, or if you're looking at a different team, definitely one of those Belgian players. So moving on up top, and I think this should be probably the standard front three, regardless of whether you're on a Limitless or not. It's Ronaldo, Lukaku, and Harry Kane. Of course, at the time of recording, we don't know how Ronaldo has got on, whether he's been subbed off early, whether he's scored a brace. Could be any of those, but I do think he is going to be a fantastic option going into that game on the 22nd. And then Lukaku and Harry Kane. Lukaku scored 2 goals that were disallowed, missed a lot of big chances. I think a mega haul is on its way for him. And Harry Kane, despite sort of not looking too attacking in that opening game against Serbia, did play quite well, did hold up the ball well. I think he's going to sort of get a license to maybe attack more in the next couple of games. England will definitely open up a lot more than they did in that opening game. They played it quite safe. So I do think Harry Kane as well is a fantastic option. I wouldn't be put off by the fact that Lukaku and Kane both blanked in match day 1.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, one other option you could potentially look at as well is Kai Havertz, but bear in mind that you will have to drop out one of either the midfielders from Germany or the defender as well. And this match day in particular, in terms of clean sheet potential, it's very hard to come by. It's not the same as like match day 1 where we saw a lot of teams have quite high odds. This week it's a little bit lower, and that goes to show with Croatia being the highest odds for a clean sheet this week. Okay, so that wraps up our Limitless Matchday 2 draft. Let us know what you would do if you're playing your Limitless chip this week, or what your strategy is. Are you wildcarding like Ben, playing your Limitless, or just going with those 2 free transfers and saving it for a little bit later in the tournament?
And as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the FPL Graduates. I've been Ben.
I've been Josh.
And we'll see you guys
later. Have a good game week, everyone.
You may rise, but you'll never make me wanna stick around you.